Yo guys, what's going on? It's your boy Blank Online. Today, we're going to be talking about some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare multiplayer, and specifically, I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and go a little bit more in depth on the Gunsmith. But before I go any further, if you're going to enjoy this video, please leave it a like and also click that subscribe button down below because it does help me out a bunch, and you do not want to miss out on all of the upcoming content that I have in the pipeline up until the release of the beta of the game and as well as the full release as well. But without further ado, let's get further into it. Gunsmith is a feature that I fully believe will change Call of Duty moving forward. I think it's something that was needed. If we go back to the last real innovation of Creator Class, we had Pick 10. Pick 10 was the thing that was introduced in Black Ops 2, and it fully changed the way we did Creator Class back then. Since then, we've had Pick 10 for the rest of the Call of Duties afterwards, except for, I think, World at War didn't have, World War 2 didn't have it, and I think Ghosts didn't have it, but I'll be standard corrected if that's not true. But every other Call of Duty besides those ones had Pick 10 or some form of Pick 10. Modern Warfare changes that and completely removes Pick 10. So there's no more Pick 10. It's just back to basics, back to the normal Creator Class. But your advanced customization comes in the form of the Gunsmith. Now, the Gunsmith relates to both your primary and secondary weapons. Those weapons being fully customizable in terms of your reticles, your muzzles, your grips, your stocks, your perks. Yes, I said perks. And everything like that. So you get 5 customization slots, and those 5 customization slots also include a perk. So you can rock whatever grip you want, whatever muzzle you want, whatever reticle you want, so long as the choices you have are maximum to 5. There are now perks in the game, and the perks are something that is super interesting and something that'll really change kind of the way you choose your loadout and you choose your attachments, because you have to incorporate the fact that choosing a perk takes up one of your 5 slots. So perks can be anything from sleight of hand, changing the select fire, so single burst or single round or burst, as well as FMJ, so bullet penetration in walls and stuff like that. Perks are stuff that are intangible, so it's things that don't change the look of the weapon, but are things that will enhance the way the weapon works. Gunsmith as well gives the player pros and cons as to what is good for the weapon. Like, if let's say you choose the suppressor, there will be pros on choosing the suppressor and cons. So cons might be range, and then pros will be obviously silenced shots, and you won't be detected on the radar and that sort of stuff. So it will outline all those things. So every single attachment has a pro and every single attachment has a con. So just dependent on how you play will determine whether or not those cons don't really mean much to you. So let's say you're rocking an SMG, you pop a silencer on the MP5 and it's like cons range. Maybe you don't really care about having too much range on the MP5 because you'll be running and gunning, so that doesn't really matter to you. So you pop the suppressor on there anyway because the pros outweigh the cons just based on how you play the game. You got to think about this stuff because Modern Warfare is really making the player think about how they play and the strategic way that they can manipulate the weapon based on the way they play, the maps you're playing on, the objectives, and all that sort of stuff. Now, Gunsmith as well is not only a thing that you can do in Creator Class, it's also something that you can do in game as well. So based on the different gunfights you're experiencing, where certain players are, there may be like a sniper camping in a building and you have an assault rifle with a reflex scope and you want to maybe pop a burst fire, a select shot on that, so you get single shot, so you get more accurate shots and a longer range scope, so you can take that dude out, and then after you finish that, change it again to go back to what you were normally. All of that in game while you're in game. So it's not like you're stuck with those attachments throughout the whole game. You can swap in and swap out based on how the game's going, how you're going. If you're finding the attachments you're rocking with just aren't working, switch it out, try something new. If that something new works out for you, keep rocking with that. Like, it's crazy how we've gotten to this point where we have to start thinking about these things in Call of Duty, because before, Call of Duty was just your mindless shooter. You run around, you shoot your gun, you get some kills, and that's it. Now, with Infinity Ward's approach to it, they're gone more strategic, even in the way you breach and clear, even in the way you mount your weapons to get a bit more stability out of them. Like, this sort of stuff is crazy, and the gunsmith is just an enhancement of that. I think that the gunsmith is something that has to stay in Call of Duty. I think it's not something, okay, let's say gunsmith is here, obviously we know that it's here for this year's game. Next year with Treyarch's game, let's say that they don't do it and they go back to pick 10. For me, that's a step back. Personally, that's a step back, because why would you go back to what was before when what is here now is it's an improvement on what was before. Pick 10 allowed you to customize your weapon a lot more. It allowed you to get more attachments than what you would have before Pick 10 was introduced in Black Ops 2. But where Pick 10 fell short, Gunsmith picks that back up by placing more emphasis on your weapon, and your weapon being the main character of the multiplayer, because your weapon is what you use throughout the whole thing, right? Why not give that some like customization? Why not let that be the forefront? Why not let that be the staple onto what your multiplayer experience is surrounded by? The thing is, with the Gunsmith, they said there is 30 to 60 attachments per weapon with the Gunsmith, per weapon. Now that's fucking insane, right? Because if you really think about it, Black Ops 4 had all, right? So all weapons, all attachments, all perks, all special equipment, just nothing. Black Ops 4 had nothing. That game was I paid $300 for the mystery box edition, and in terms of the content that I got from the launch in the multiplayer, it was nothing. Already here in Modern Warfare, we have more in this game than we have right now, almost at the end of Black Ops 4's life cycle. It's insane, just with attachments alone. 30 to 60, 30 being on pistols, 60 being on all your other weapons. And obviously the amount of attachments per weapon changes based on the weapon classification. You can't have 50 million different types you can change the muzzle on a shotgun. It just doesn't work like that. But on an assault rifle you can, because there's different ways you can customize it. And obviously there's different ways, different configurations will be different things. Like, weapons completely change based on weapons can completely change just based on the way you customize them in Gunsmith. They said in the reveal that an AK-47 can be changed to an AK-74U based on the way you customize it. It can also be changed to an RPD OMG based on the way you customize it. It's insane. Think of the M4. The M4 can be changed to the M16 based on the perk you use. So you'll put the burst perk there, and just based on the way you customize the different grips and stuff like that to make it look like the M16. Gunsmith is something that needs to stay. It needs to stay 100%, because I swear if we go back to Pick 10 next year, I'm gonna be disappointed, because with what we have right now, with the Gunsmith we have right now, I'm all in. Honestly, I'm all in, because all I wanted was more customization in my game. All I wanted was to have what we had before. Before the new gen of Call of Duty, we got so much in our game. We got so many weapons, so many different attachments and stuff, like just weird as it, like having a thermal sight on an assault rifle, which was fucking ridiculous. Like, little things like that just made the game a lot more replayable. From what we've seen currently, Modern Warfare is looking like that game where it's going to be super replayable purely because of the Gunsmith and the different ways that you can customize your weapon. And that not only the Gunsmith, everything else in this game and everything else Infinity Ward is doing, from what we've seen so far, they're doing a good job. But obviously we're not going to get too hyped, because I haven't even played the game, but from the people that have played the game, they're super hyped for it. So I'm super hyped for it. but also I'm keeping myself a little bit more calm as well, because I don't want to have another Black Ops 4. I honestly can't, I can't do that to myself again. That about sums it up for me, guys. What do you think? What do you think about the Gunsmith and how it changes? How it changes Call of Duty, how it changes this Modern Warfare, and how you think it will affect the future of the franchise. As I said at the start of the video, if you went on to enjoy it, please leave a like and click subscribe, because you don't want to miss out on my upcoming content regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.